Morning, boys. Morning, morning. We smell. Huh? Hey, buddy. Fredo. What's up, buddy? What you doing? Morning, everybody. Chad, Adler Farms. Woo! It is a brisk 55 degrees. It feels amazing. The wind is ripping. We got a little bit of rain Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, but not enough to make a difference. And it didn't release a burn ban or anything like that. Still holding out for actual rain. So I know it's windy, bear with me. We've got some random trash blowing around, so we're gonna pick a little bit of it up this morning. Hang on, let's check on the girls. Morning. It's all right. Good girl. Atta girl. Atta girl. You got something in your teeth. Do you want help with it, or will that make you move? I got it. Thank you, lady. Maybe you were saving that for later. I'm sorry. What about you, lady? How's that wind treating you? Going for that blowout look? Touch? Okay. All right, I'll leave you alone. Alan's up there, draining the main vein. I tried my hardest and failed, but I tried to convince Ray. Man, I don't know what that wind sounds like, guys, and I won't till I edit. I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna talk loud. I tried my hardest to convince Ray to sell Alan. I know, right? It didn't work. She didn't bite it. So it's not that I want to sell him. He has either bred the alpacas and he's gonna be a dad a year, or he hasn't bred them and he's broken. Whether you remember or not, Alan was actually attacked by the neighbor's dog in the groin area. And so it took him a little while to recover. And that could be, or could have, caused some permanent damage. So we don't know. We have seen him try with the girls, but you know, he hasn't been here long enough to be a dad. Like if he bred the girls when they first got here, we're only like 2 or 3 months into an 11 to 14 month pregnancy or gestation period. So we got quite a ways to go. Heading into winter, I tried to talk Ray into selling him at the auction. There's an auction today, the day you guys are seeing this, in Locust Grove down by the Walkers. Was gonna run him down there and sell him and then go into winter without a male and then get the alpacas preg checked in the spring. He's gonna be here for a little while. Ray's pretty attached, and she understands that eventually Alan will probably have to move, or if he did get the girls pregnant and they all had girls, you either have to sell those girls, or if they all had boys, you got to sell those boys because they'll fight. So at some point, somebody has to move on from your farm. You can't keep everybody. Just like Fred, many of you, we talked about the bull. Let me step in here and see if it's quieter. Many of you, we talked about the bull and Fred and the neighbor's bull, all that good stuff. We want to keep Fred. We want to keep him as long as we can. We will wait till his calves hit the ground, which could be, doggone it, spiderweb. We will wait till his calves hit the ground before we ever sell him. And if he has bull calves, we'll sell the bull calves. If he has heifers, we will probably sell Fred. What we want to do with this other pasture, we've got it here. This is 5 acres. That's 5 acres. That's 5. That's 5, roughly, give or take. It's 20 acres on the nose. So We want to fence this in up here for Fred so we can keep our bull separate. That way we also keep him off the neighbor's fence. Which, by the way, the neighbor, I reached out to him and he did not know that we had a bull on the fence. He knew we had a bull, but he didn't know that he had the free reign of the property. And he apologized and he said that the bull that he has over there is on lease from his dad. And his dad leases 150 bulls out a year. So he told me, he said, hey, if you have a problem with that bull, he said, throw a hot wire up because yours are, you know, adjusted to a hot wire. I don't even think Fred and the girls will walk through a white wire, whether it's hot or not. But he said, throw a hot wire up. And he said, if my bull gives you any trouble, he said, let me know and I'll get another one from Dad. He said, we'll just get him out of there and get a new one. He does have a lot of land. It is easier for him to make adjustments, but there's no sense in him building a fence and me building a permanent fence anyway, for just a couple of bulls. But Fred made it known pretty quick that his heifers weren't up for courting. And that bull, I mean, he seemed pretty tame. He marched away from me with nothing other than a, you know, click of my fingers and hollering a little bit. So anyway, I don't think it's happening all the time. And let me show you. You guys know we have several cameras on the property, and one of them is right there. We can see the fence. We can see all along the fence where Fred would be. So we can watch it. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm getting enough temporary posts to go the stretch of the property, keep Fred on our side. I know some of you guys said 10 yards. Some of you said 10 feet. In my experience, those cows, Fred and the girls, unless you're feeding them, they won't go within 10 feet of that hot wire. So we'll probably put one. Whew, all the chickens came running out from under the trailer. That gave me the wheelies. Oh. That reminds me, hang on. So we're good on the bull front, okay? Bull front, that's an appropriate term, yeah. We're good on the bull front, but let me show you something. We went live on Facebook a couple days this week. And guess who crowed? Live on camera. Crowed like a big dog. Now it was one of them crows where he was just finding his voice. But he crowed. It was pretty slight. And Cowboy was a long ways off. This is our Rooster Cowboy. He came from Walker Farm fam. This is also our Rooster. But we weren't sure if it was a he or a her because they ain't crowed. So we're pretty pleased to hear him crow. Now, I don't know, he's like 3 times the size of Cowboy, but those Bantams are known for being pretty tough, right, Bruce? And speaking of Bruce, when I got here this morning, see that little bunk feeder right there? When I got here this morning and parked my truck, Bruce was asleep in that bunk feeder. I mean, like, sacked out. I didn't even know he was in there until I pulled up, got out of my truck, gave you a big old stretch. I look over and I hear the bunk feeder, you know, popping and cracking. And Bruce climbs out like it's the first day of school and he's headed to junior high. What's Matt? What is that noise? It was so funny. Didn't have the camera running. Sorry about it. We still do not have Bo, unfortunately. I still believe he's at the neighbor's. I don't think he got eaten. Just is what it is. We can't really just walk over there and go traipsing around their property. It's twice the land we have. So they may not even know if Bo's over there. So, but we'll figure it out. As far as trapping that little one, I've tried feeding her in the trailer. I've tried feeding her in the panels. I don't know what we're gonna do. But that goat, you can't get within about 10, 15 feet of her and she takes off. We're trying to get her back to her owner, our neighbors, or Bruce breeds her, because I'm not saying this will happen because Bruce is not near as big as I thought he was gonna get. If Bruce breeds that little goat, there is a condition where if a larger animal breeds a smaller animal, it can be dangerous for the mom during delivery. So we don't really want that. The thing is though, is I was expecting Bruce to be a lot bigger by now because he's Boer Nubian influence and he's just not. So fingers crossed, you know, that everything's okay. And I know that sounds whatever, but we got to catch that goat. And she has no desire. She gets right through the cattle panels, right through them, no problem. So I don't know what we're gonna do. You can't lasso her. If you started swinging a rope around, she'd take off. You wouldn't see her for a day. She knows. She's been chased. She's been, you know, running around scot-free around the neighborhood for like 3 or 4 months. Even right now, little Donk's up here. Bruce is on his way. Lucy will come up. And there's little Miss. Hey, did you claim this as yours? Is that where you sleep now? Is that where you sleep now? Oh yeah, don't go in there. He goes in there, he knows I'll hold him down and pet him. Bruce, you don't want to cuddle? All right, we've got 1 alpaca, 2, 3 alpaca, 4, 5, 6 alpaca. So, no new critters. Here's the girls. They got up and moved. Everybody's had cubes. I've been here for a little bit this morning, which I need to go get more. Let's see. Do I want to drive down there or walk? Let's drive. I know walking is healthier, but we're going to drive down to the pond because I'm going to talk to you about the pond, and then we're going to go past the pond to do a little bit of work. Hang on. You gonna come with me? You gonna come with us? Come on down there. You come with us? Show them the grill. Show them the grill. How pretty you are. Show them. See the teeth. See the teeth. Oh, teeth. Oh, teeth. All right, come down there with us. So yeah, got ourselves a couple of roosters. All right, let's head down here and talk about the pond a little bit. I'm pretty excited. We got a big update coming. Big bump. Boom, boom. Hang on. We got some advice on the pond, and I think it was some of the most sound advice we've gotten to date. I think it's pretty stinking cool. I'm gonna yell a little bit because I don't know what it's gonna sound like in editing. So, here's what somebody's gonna come do. You guys will have to stay tuned. We've got somebody coming with a dozer, and what they're gonna do is take this dirt that we're standing on, which by the way, is every bit of about 30 feet wide and maybe 75 feet long. So that's big. That's big as a house usually. The old Craftsman style 1 hallway houses. Most of those were like 30 by 70. So that's how big this peninsula is. And this person's idea, which we agree with, they're gonna take this dirt and they're gonna shove it into the water. They're gonna take this dirt, they're gonna shove it into the water. And they're gonna make a giant hole where all this dirt is. They're gonna take this dirt towards the end of the peninsula and make a land bridge right there. They're gonna fill those beaver dens with dirt from here. And then they're gonna take a dozer and go all around the sides and just pack it back in. So what's gonna happen is the water will not be right here or right there. It'll all be right here. This will be the deepest part of the pond. This person that does this is what they do for a living. And I'm gonna film as much of it as I can for you guys. They're supposed to do it the next couple days. I'm not really sure when. They're finishing up another job. And then any good contractor, when they've got equipment, they don't want to take their equipment home. So where he's at, he's 1 town over. And I'm between the job he's working and his home. So as soon as he's done over there, he'll bring his equipment here. So he doesn't have to take it home and bring it back. You know how it goes. That's the plan. And I'm pretty stinking excited. He was very confident. He actually said, this is not the worst he's seen. It's not even close. So that was a little bit reassuring. He said, don't worry about him. He said, my dozer will not even feel those trees. I said, what about the dens? You don't want to fall in. And he said, I'll be over those dens so quick. It's a big dozer. He's not worried. Not worried at all. This is what he does for a living. Okay. We asked him if it was the right time to do it, and I'm just giving you guys everything we talked about. We asked if it was the right time to do it, and he said absolutely. Right now is the best time to do it. He has what's called a wet rate and a dry rate, and right now he can do it dry. I would assume that wet rate, what he means by that is it's more difficult when it rains, right? Wearing Crocs. I thought I'd got all the snakes, but you know, doggone it, I wasn't standing out here yesterday talking to him about a 4-foot moccasin went swimming right in front of us. And he said, hey, this will solve a lot of that because they'll want to move. He said, we'll disrupt all their holes, all their dens. He said they'll have to go somewhere else or make new holes. But he did encourage me to be out here when he does the work, because he said, you will have fish. He said, it'll surprise you. He said, you'll be out here and we'll get some of this water flowing into that peninsula, into that hole. And he said, you know, the pond, he said, there's dips and valleys in it. And he said, we'll get some of that water flowing in, and then all of a sudden you'll see a little pool with, you know, a bunch of bluegill and some bass. I don't know, it'd be awesome if they survived. What we'll do is, I'm probably gonna go get a fish net, like a catfish net. They're a little bit bigger. And that way, if we get a pool of fish, we can go over and grab them and pick them up and move them to the deeper area of the pond. The way he's gonna do this, what his solution will do is take care of a lot of the muck in the bottom of the pond currently. Because when he starts pushing this dirt out, before he does it, he's gonna push this out. He's gonna displace all the water. So we'll be able to see all the muck that's down there. And he'll push it out on the banks, he'll let it dry. He'll shove some of it into that hole, and then he'll cover it up. But like I said, this is one of the things he does for a living. So he's very, very well versed in it. And there's actually a couple of farms and a ranch between us and where he's at now. And I've actually seen him out working and had no idea. I had no idea that it was him. That's pretty comforting, being able to drive by and see his work. I might even get him to take some of this fence out for us. And we're gonna see too if he can level out some of these higher spots out here. Since he's got a big dozer, it won't take him any time at all. Hang on, we've got thorns coming in. But he's not worried about any of the trees. He said my dozer won't even feel it. We'll go right over them. Let's go back here now. Hang on, we're off-roading. Somebody came back here, it wasn't us. Somebody came back here before us and did some donuts, some serious donuts in their truck, and left us some nice ruts. Greatly appreciate that. So the project for today, we're at the back of the property where Fred met the neighbor's bull, and we've got a tree down, and I wonder if today's even the best day to do this. Look at the wind. Something ripe in the air too. Something died. But we've got this massive pin oak tree, and I mean it is huge. There's no deadfalls in it, because the deadfall actually is what I'm going to try and take out. But out here away from the pond, we might see a king snake and a garter snake, but we're not going to see water moccasins. We're too far away. But that tree right there, is there a way in there without getting cut up? The cows have been in here, so I know there's a path. Yeah, there we go. Looks like they went that way. But that tree right there, it's like it had a double root, but I mean, that's like 6 feet across. It fell, and it did land on the neighbor's side. And I'd love to get this out of here. If not out of here, I'd love to just clean it up a little bit. I don't know if it's leaning on his fence or not. He didn't say a word about it. I just figured I'd make it a project, but I'm not sure we'll be able to get in there to a lot of it. I don't want to take that one down. There's nothing I'm watching above me, guys. We're okay. We're definitely going to use the big saw. I really think if we start right here, we'll be okay. I want to get in there though. I'm watching my steps. I'm pausing the video, even if you can't tell. Absolutely okay. So, yeah, looks like a cedar tree actually broke its fall, and a branch from this tree. Keep an eye out for that bull. Looks like he's way over there. I'm just in the mood to cut something, and I think it's gonna be this. That cedar tree's on my side, the trunk. So we can take it out. What's nice is everything's leaning on the cedar tree. So we can take it out and take the branches out around it, and the cedar tree will hold it up. It won't squish the fence. And in theory, everything goes to plan, right? Man, something. I don't know what it is, and I haven't found it yet. And as hard as the wind's blowing, there's no telling where it's at, but something is ripe. Well, we've got some company. We've got some company. This is one of their favorite places to lay. So right in here, the tree we're taking out's over there. Got the saw lubed and oiled and gassed and all that good stuff. Get away from the truck. Let's go. Let's go. Yep. Yep. You guys are the curious critters I've ever seen in my life. Let's see if I walk away if they come with. Oh yeah, I got me some eye protection. I know that was driving some of you guys nuts. I've had these for a while and been real lazy about wearing them. Yep, and guess what? These goggles are Carhartt. How about that? But they make some. I don't think these have it. Hang on. No, they don't. They make some with a like foam around the inside of the frame there. And of course that helps with the fog and all that stuff. They make clear ones. These are tinted because it's stinking bright back here. They see their reflection in the truck and they mess with it. And of course Fred's been nose to nose with a bull out here, so he's probably getting ready to square up on himself in my truck. They're so stinking curious. All right, let's see if we can get back in here. I got my snake boots on. I've got my chaps on, so we should be all right. The only thing I gotta watch now is these silly cows. They were way up front, and then here they come. Y'all gotta be kidding me. This is ridiculous. So here's what we're up against. That tree, I bet that's probably 20 feet long. That's every bit of 18 to 12 inches around right there. See, I think, would you quit it? Hey, you little troublemaker. Tell your girl, get off the fence. So I'm gonna start running a saw here in a second. They'll all go away. This branch right here, it looks like when it fell, that's stuck into the ground. That's not a tree. That's just holding up that entire tree right there. So I'm gonna cut away some of the mess and make it to where I can get to it. Better yet, make it to where I can get out of it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Fred, I'm trying to work back here, buddy. I'm trying to work. What are you doing? What in the world? He's been in there before because it's all smashed down. So I've cut down most of the mess. I'll probably take out some of these as well. That tree is on my side. So let's keep going. I came on the other side of the fence. Oh, so I'm on my neighbor's place. Make some short work. There's another tree down here. Let me go look at it. So here's another one. We're probably 100 feet away. Those are mine. But look at this woodpecker hole. That's pretty cool. Dude's probably in there. But we'll probably take out some of these too, just to be neighborly, because they're going to come down in the winter, so might as well do it now. They're not very big. As a matter of fact, they've been here a while because they're dead. Now, that tree's not dead, but these limbs are. All right, here's where it's gonna get hairy. And here's my company. He's just waiting on trees with leaves. He's just waiting on branches with leaves. That tree's a little bigger than I thought. Again, there's no deadfalls directly above me, so we're all right, but it's definitely kind of sketch. I'm taking it slower and being a little more cautious, I'm sure, than it shows. I don't know what he'll want with all these trees. I can text him. So see, he's got a tractor, so me cutting all these up and throwing them over, you know, when we could just burn them right here probably in a month. No sense in doing that, but y'all are no help. No help whatsoever. Cows are so curious. So curious. Y'all are killing me. You're killing me. These are, oh my goodness. I guess I do need to throw these branches over. Y'all are silly. So I've cut up quite a bit of the weight over here. If I had a pole saw, I'd probably attempt that branch right there. I went to our storage unit and got the pole saw, but I forgot to get the chain. It's not a scrunch like a normal chainsaw. It's like a 5-point something. Way to go, DeWalt. But anyway, it's probably a common tool. I didn't bring one, so that's on me. But I think I got most of the weight down on this side, so if I cut it over here, it's actually being supported right here. So if I cut it right there, it should just dip. It should just dip down. Goodness, you're feisty. So let me throw some of these branches over here, and then I'll pick up over there, and we'll try and get the rest of this down. Whew. All right. Well, I had you guys on pause. I took out all the limbs that were down, and clearly these aren't down. I do think that tree is dead though, but that's just too dangerous to reach overhead. So we'll wait. Might have a tractor with a grapple we can use pretty quick, so we won't have to worry about that overhead stuff. But let's go down and check out the first tree we were working on. But doesn't that look cleaner? All his animals can walk underneath it now. We get a lot of questions about the types of trees we want and things we want and stuff like that. And here's a perfect example. This is a pecan tree, or hickory. A type of hickory is a pecan, something like that. Anyway, here's another one, and here's another one. We would rather have these oak trees because somehow they're all growing like straight up. And of course, here's a baby oak, and that tree's probably 20 years old. But we'd rather get these pecan trees out of here and make room for these oaks because they tend to grow out more and they're just really straight. So that's what I'm after. Love them or hate them. I don't know whether you like pecan trees or not. I know some of y'all that watch do and some of y'all love them. But, oh wait. Nope. But we want these oak trees. So anyway, these are 2 trees I'll probably take out, shove that way. Gives this oak tree more room to grow and prosper. So I'll probably actually take out that oak tree right there because it's growing up underneath this one. There's just no need for it. So anyway, let's go back to the original mess. And I think the cows are getting out of there. So they're going over here where I made a bigger pile of leaves. So we'll go over there now and see if we can make some headway. What's going on, everybody? It's been about an hour. Whew. And I think I'm gonna be a wise old man right here. And there's a red flag warning, which I think I mentioned earlier. And if you didn't know or you're not from around here, a red flag warning is a wind warning. Has to do with fire, has to do with just straight line winds, just anything you're doing. There's a red flag warning. I mean, I'm actually down in the lowest part of our property and our neighbors. So it's not even as windy as it really is. But I've cut all the weight off of that tree. And when I cut it right here, it's about 12 feet off the ground. Let me show you. This is the only thing holding it up. I'm not actually under it, look. I'm not actually under it. This is the only thing holding it up. That's just a branch. And what I'd rather do is come out here with somebody or, yeah, just popped, hang on. I'd rather come out here with somebody or wait until we have that tractor to support that. Like I put my bucket right here, then make a couple cuts right there, take it down without getting hurt. So it's not going anywhere. It's been back here a long time. It is completely dead. So it's not going anywhere. And I took all the weight off of it. Limbed it, all that good stuff. Bucked it. Is that the appropriate term now that I'm a logger? Drives some of you guys nuts that I consider myself, well, you think I consider myself chainsaw savvy. I know I'm not beyond when I purchased this saw. That's the extent of my chainsaw experience, and I just bought this probably a couple months ago. Let's take a break and take a look at some things. I'm gonna get something to eat, something to drink, see if it dies down a little. It's been about 2 hours and the red flag warning is not dying down at all. It's actually picked up a little bit. I guess it started at noon. So we ran our saw and we filmed until about noon, and then I've been editing. It's now 13:30. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. It's not getting any better condition wise. You know, if I was just chopping things down like this, it's no big deal. It's actually trying to clean up fence lines and it's just not safe. So I'm gonna call it a day as far as this mission goes. But I do wanna ask you guys something. I'm pretty loyal to DeWalt, but it's because I've got a lot of DeWalt tools. They run on batteries. And of course, once you have 4 or 5 batteries, you need to stay with that tool system, because whether you like Milwaukee or DeWalt, Ryobi, Rigid, whatever, you don't want to be buying batteries for 10 different tools. But anyway, I do have Husqvarna saws, and they've been around the longest, but I'm not super loyal. But we need a pole saw. I've got a DeWalt pole saw, but it is not big enough nor long enough to reach some of these branches. And here's what I'm trying to do. It's going to come down to reach on the saw, but let me show you. We're getting a tractor one way or another, whether we work with that company or not. We're getting a tractor. And it's likely going to be at least taller than I am. Whew, scared me. It's at least going to be taller than I am. And what we don't want to have to do when we drive that tractor is watch out for branches. So pretty much anything 10 feet or above, maybe even 12 feet, we're going to want to chop down because you don't want it scraping the top of your tractor, whether you've got the roll bar or a cab. So let me know if you've used Husqvarna or Steel pole saws. And we will splurge for the commercial one for safety reasons. I want this saw to cut and I want the tree branch to fall, okay? I've got this one. This is the one I forgot the battery for. That's the DeWalt. I love it, but I don't think it's, well, I know it's not. It's not made for it. It's not beefy enough. It's not what I want to feel safe when I'm using. Because let me show you, I'll show you guys everything today. A little bit of everything. That's got a 12-inch blade. I think it'll run a 15. Is that right? That sounds too big. But it's only 20 volts too, so it can't quite go fast as you want it to go. And I don't want to get under some of these limbs because when you get, you know, when you're talking about a pole saw, let me find an example. Watching for snakes. So this is a giant pecan tree, I believe. And when you're talking about branches being 12 feet in the air, those branches are 12 inches around. So I can't, you know, it's going to take a while. You got to truly have a nice pole saw. So we're going to splurge for a pretty nice one. And that way we'll be plenty safe when we're using it. So let me know what you guys have used. Let me know what you think. But that is it for today. That's all I've got. I'm going to leave these guys back here to eat and sleep and hang out, whatever else they do. Hopefully they stay clear of the neighbor's bull. But I'll be out here. I've just got to edit and upload this and get you guys going. But y'all are silly. Where'd the other burger bro go? He's way down there somewhere. But man, stay tuned because barring something happening, almost tripped. Barring something happening and messing up our pond guy's schedule, he will be here. Today is Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He will be here tomorrow to work on the pond, and you're not going to want to miss that. So definitely stay tuned because it's going to be a complete transformation. And Ray and I are super excited for several reasons. But you know, the pond, that was the main attraction to the farm. And when we found this farm, when we worked with the sellers who have become good friends, that pond was just, it was a place we came to hang out while we were waiting on closing and ironing things out, because there was no snakes yet. There was no beaver. I mean, there was, but we didn't know the extent of his damage. We were just like, oh, cute beaver, blah, blah, blah. And then we were like, I hate beavers. So anyway, I don't really hate beavers. Calm down. So anyway, now with all the snakes and the beaver and the muskrat and the raccoons and the coyotes, it's not that the pond isn't a sanctuary for us. It's become another project, which how blessed are we that our project and something that I have to tackle is a pond with some critters in it. I mean, what a blessing when you live a life that those are your worries. When I lay my head down at night, I check the cameras on the pond for Wally. I check the cameras on the back of the property for making sure Fred's not, you know, going toe to toe with the neighbor's bull. And we check it to make sure no fires have spread when that was going on. And, you know, I mean, how blessed am I? How blessed are we that those are my issues? So I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. I just don't want you guys to miss out because you're such a huge part of this. You are this. You are this. And it's just so awesome to be on this journey with you guys. We can't thank you enough. So anyway, with that said, you better stay tuned because it's going to get awesome really, really quick. So y'all be good. Don't work too hard. Thanks so much for hanging out. Don't make it weird. God bless. Deuces.